me read this. Let's shape the future, one commit at a time. Willhaben Tech Force. Bist du deppert? Ist hinten auch was drauf?
No,
Willhaben.
fully merged out. My socks are left at home, but I have Dynatrace socks now. Just for you. It's crazy to hear yourself talking here.
Yeah. Try the same thing if you watch a video from yourself. It's horrible.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Cool. All right. I would say we're super fast on time, and as people probably haven't changed and won't change because on the other session it goes on, is a longer one. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Decision-making process for platform services. Your story.
Yeah, it's my story. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I think you don't know me yet because I wasn't on the website listed anywhere. I wasn't a speaker yesterday. I'm just a speaker for the day. I'm Lukas Zainzinger. I'm a platform SRE at Willhaben. It's a mixture of being an SRE and a platform engineer. I'm also studying cloud computing engineering at the Hochschule Burgenland. Here are my colleagues. Hello. So I'm really into cloud computing. And you can find me on LinkedIn if you're interested to see some of my projects I did during my studies and at Willhaben. Yesterday I was sitting back there in a comfy chair, watching the last talk, not knowing what's to come. I was an attendee, not listed as a speaker, not on the website, anything else. A few moments later, I'm here. I got voted to present today, and I come up with a talk. It's not a technical one, it's more a management one, more like how we at Willhaben make decisions on what services to use for our platform and for our needs. I think, so let's start. Who of you knows Willhaben? Please raise your hands. It's the whole room. And who uses it more than once a week? It's more than expected. That's really nice. Okay. At Willhaben, I will tell for the people who don't know, we are an online marketplace, have multiple verticals. Marketplace is the one everyone knows. You can sell your stuff you don't want to have anymore. We also have autos and immobilien, real estate, and also jobs. So if you're looking for a job, you can take a look. We have more than 7 million downloads of our app and more than 3.8 million monthly active users. Currently, it's more than 4 million. So half of Austria is an active user, more or less, on Willhaben. And we are proud to be second place of greatest place to work in Europe. We are really proud of that. So we have 307 Willhabingers, so the people who are working there. 10 office stocks, that's really important. Every good office needs office stocks. And 27 nationalities, so we're a multinational team. So why I'm telling you how big is Willhaben and so on? Because I want you to know the scale of Willhaben and what it means to be a platform engineer there. Because we try to provide a platform that's very reliable for all users to use. It should be available most of the time, all of the time, and must be highly sufficient with the requests. So in Willhaben, in the product development, we have a service catalog. In this service catalog, we have all the shared and central services that we use for our platform. This service catalog consists of a maturity level. So how is the maturity of the model we are providing, the status, the implementation status of this model, a link to the model, because currently it's more a list with Terraform models, and also some descriptions of the use case. How does it look like? It's a wiki page, more or less, on Confluence, where you have like an S3 with a small description, what it's used for, what is the status, so it's ready, so you can use it, and it's maturity level production. This means this specific model can be used in production. So it has all the monitoring we need, it has all the metrics we need exported, it has all the security and reliability options enabled we need to provide in our production environment. But how does any service end up on this service catalog? How do we decide which of these hundreds and thousands of fancy tools to use for our platform? This is why I'm talking here today, to talk about our decision-making process. First of all, you have to have a need. So, for example, we have to provide a new service, like a new chat service to our customers. This new chat service needs a new cloud-native streaming environment. So first, we have to define the scope and the requirements needed for this service. Then what are the dependencies? Is it only used for this one tribe? Or is it a service that is used and shared with multiple tribes? For this streaming service, all of the other tribes are using this as well, because this streaming service, in the end, it's not only for chat messaging, it's also recording all the data and clicks of the platform. Okay, we know it's a service that's shared with multiple tribes, and it must be cloud native, and it's a streaming service. Next step is an ADR. In the ADR, it's an architectural decision record where we go over multiple questions we have, like different service options using Kafka, ActiveMQ, whatever. This is just clarifying what service to use. In the next step, when we have a decision on which service to use, we have something that's called the service assessment. Service assessment is defining the implementation options, like going with a managed option, self-hosting one, on-prem, cloud, whatever. So now going into details. First with the ADR, it's on the right side you have an example, an empty one. It's needed, and we use it in Willhaben for all major decisions that includes more than one affected team. It's or the option is hard to revert or costly to revert. Then what's also really interesting is if there was already an ADR about this service, you can revert this ADR with another ADR. Then also an ADR is needed. Why do we need this process? It's really nice to use to later in time know why we made this decision, because everything is documented. So first, the team is preparing the ADR with the options and pros and cons of each option. Then there's a request for comment phase where other tribes and teams can leave comments on this ADR. And in the end, every tribe has to give a sociocratic consent to the options. So for example, safe enough to try means, okay, this option is safe enough to implement. If you have concerns, you have to voice them. This means you can try it, but I have concerns about it. So you have to tackle these concerns after the implementation. If you have an objection, it means these objections have to be cleared before implementing. If you can't clear them, this option is out. That's really important. It's not the option with the most votes gets the win. If there is an objection, this option will not further be implemented. If you're interested in this method of voting, there's a QR code. You can scan this one in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there's an example. We have one option with pros and cons. And we have another option. So we have here going either with Postgres or with Redis. So in the end, there's a decision. Let's go with Postgres. Okay, we know we need a Postgres service. Next step, we go in the service assessment. As I told you, we have the decision to go with a service. Now we have to describe the multiple implementation options for Postgres database, for example. As you know, you can have a Kubernetes operator and deploy your Postgres databases on Kubernetes directly. We can use it in our on-prem data center. We don't want to use it. We can go with managed options of multiple providers or AWS and so on. So this documents the whole options we have. In the end of this, there is a list comparing all these options by specific requirements and also a pricing comparison. To conclude, in the end, the platform SRE team, in this case, makes a decision what implementation option to use, and then sends this information to the product lead and the platform tribe lead to accept or decline the option. This is because the implementation has a business impact, also a cost impact, so we have to get a go or no-go for this option. This is how it can look like. I brought Kafka in the beginning. This is what we used for Kafka. We had Red Panda, Confluent, deploying on EKS or the MSK option. We made a comparison, and in the end, we made the decision, because of strategic reasons, to go with MSK. So next phase is the implementation phase. And now there's the big disclaimer. We have a defined option chosen, but this option is only valid in this point of time under these specific requirements. in our company. This doesn't mean that this is the best solution. It only means that we decided to go with it, stick with it, and during the implementation phase, if something goes wrong, we have to redo the process and go with another option. But we know why we decided for this option and why we didn't decide for another option. That's mainly how we do decisions on platform services at Willhaben. I'm curious how your companies decide for services. And if you have some questions, I'm here now.
Wahnsinn, it was extremely fast.
10 minutes.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes for questions, which is
great. That was planned.
Perfect. Folks, questions, hands up. There you go, a lot of questions over there.
Harald.
There you go, he's coming, he's here.
I have to say I spent whole night to prepare this.
Yeah, you missed the party last night, just because of this.
Yeah.
Should have had at least a beer.
Thanks a lot. Question there. You have your different parameters. Do you weigh them? So if you say, okay, we have a weighing concept when we make a decision?
No, mainly every involved team has some parties at the talks. So we have some discussion talks. And during these discussion talks, we discuss everything. And then in the end have the voting about it. So we don't weigh, because in the end the voting is what counts.
Okay, perfect. And do you have a triage process? If this is a decision that's needed to be done, you have like 5 ADR decision open. Do you still have a priority where you say, okay, we need to do this because these features needs to get out in next week?
Luckily, we are not that big. Currently, we try to make the ADR decisions pretty quickly, so in 1 week. And that's why we never had this situation where we have multiple ADR decisions at once. That's the main reason. And also the owner who opens the ADR is the owner of the ADR and has to make sure that it's done in a timely manner. We don't have a process like you mentioned.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So for me, I wanted to ask about the time. You already answered, like it's around 1 week. How do you, or how the one who coordinates between multiple teams if multiple teams are affected by a decision? And what's your experience in this case? Because sometimes, like it, as you said, it could be that it affects multiple teams, multiple services.
Yes. Okay. My team is the central platform team, and every other team has their own SRE. We have something that's called chapter, so we have an SRE chapter that meets every week. So if there's something important, we can mention it there as well. There's also a whole Slack channel only for ADRs. Every involved party is part of this channel, so they get informed, and we also directly message to tribe SREs if they are needed for specific talks. Luckily, we have around 6 to 8 tribes, so it's a handful of, it's 2 hands full of people, so it's okay to manage this.
One more question from my side. Do you ever go back in retrospective to see which of your decisions were right ones? Let's say once a year or once a month to say, okay, we decided that, but was it the right decision?
Yes, so after we have the implementation, it will be part of the service catalog. In the service catalog, we have these maturity levels where we go through POC stage, then to trial stage, non-prod only, prod only. During POC, trial, and non-prod, we have always like retrospectives, like is it already answering all the features we need? Are the features missing or not? And if we are on prod, we try to revisit all our prod services every year or something. At least that's the perfect state, and we're working on that.
Did you come up with this? Who made the decision to go with this process? Was there any obstacles?
Does
it come from management, C-level?
I'm part of the team for 1 year now. It was placed already there. So what's really important about this whole process and why I'm also talking about it, also in our company, the differentiation between ADR and service assessment is not always clear, because you decide for a service in the ADR, the implementation is in the service assessment. Most of the time, that's mixed up in the ADR already. So in the ADR, sometimes if you talk about Kafka, they already have an implementation in mind. And this is already going in the solution space and not really the problem-solving space. So in the end, this is more or less decoupling problem-solving and solution finding. And this is also one of the talks I'm also giving in my team. So I can't tell you who implemented it in our company. I know that ADRs are also done by lots of other companies as well. And yeah, hope this answers the question.
Awesome. With this, if there's more questions, you will still be around until the end, hopefully.
And yeah, you can also hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm interested how other companies are doing this. And yeah, thanks.
Another round of applause. Awesome.